We're going to see Azure table partition row keys. We're talking about defining Azure table partition row keys, connecting using the C#, point queries and duplication, and compound keys, and how to do the insert delete pattern. So we are giving you an exclusive on how the partitions are created, row keys are created in there, and basically you're going in Azure, creating a new resource, and then once you create that, you can go into storage, and in storage, then basically you able to store things like a blob, table, files, or queues. So those are all the different ways you can store data. Like if you have an image, you can store it like a like a blob. So here you're creating a storage account, and basically once you have it created, then you can do. It's called azuretablecosmosdb, and it has tables and it has partitions. So basically, you can add a table. We're calling it hospital management system, and once we have that, you can see you can open it and in your Visual Studios like this, and you can see it's loading. And here you can see shift storage. The name is hospital management. Then you can open it partition key and row key, and basically you can start putting in the patient's name like this, and you can see it's created right here. And then you have doctor's name, doctor free files, all those things. So this is kind of like a document you're creating. This is a non-SQL database with row key information, the timestamps, and all those things. And basically you have patients, his name is Raju, medication is this, so all that information is stored. There's a partition 1, and then there's a partition 2. So this is the field 1 data 1, field data 2, and this is storage number 2. So we have key values. There's different ways. There's non-SQL, there's schema less. So these are all the Azure tables are about, and you can go in here, you can add Windows Azure storage, and you can see in here you have all this data, row keys, and these are all the data in there, timestamps, and all those things are created. So then you have you can create an object, patient, stuff, class, main. In main you're doing a couple of things. So you're doing creating a cloud storage account, parsing it, and you will get this data from the UI of the Azure. You'll get that table way to log into the table. It will give you the whole connection variables, how to log in with username, password, and other things which you can put right here. So you can parse cloud storage. Then you have creating a client name with storage account, and then you have a cloud tables where you have table clients, and you have table query going on. So here you put a patient query, and you're querying it using a filter variables. You're generating filter conditions by row key, and you can see which is equal to employee 001, and so you're doing those things. Then you have access key you can get right here when you go inside the access key mechanism, and you can put that over here, the access key. So we can see we can generate filter condition by row and key, and then we just have to go through it in a loop of employee. You can execute query and then kind of filter through it, the query action. So step 4 would be create table query. They will filter only patient partition. So all of this is done here with generate fill, creating a query, doing a where clause, doing a for each statement as step 5, where we run the query and then we loop through the collection. And the third step was to get a reference of the table, which is done right here, generate table reference, and then for that we have table client you're making, name of the client, and first the first step would then be creating connection to the storage account. And here when we run it, we can see right here patient name is Shiv, so you can say it's reading the data and querying the table, filtering the records, and all of that stuff is going on in the coding area. Then you can even create some partition keys, partition name, key age, and you can put it in the table. You can attach it to the insert operation. You can do insert on it, insert applications, response. So here you're getting a new pad and you're putting in the row key, and table operations are done right here. Get the object to be updated when you're updating the object. We update it and we do it like that. So we can also do patient update entity, which you can see it goes through like that, and then basically we're able to do batch operations where we can create entity and add it to the table. All of this that can be added. So all of this is we have to look at data is cheap, so we don't want duplicate data, so we use wide unnecessary tables. We have some patterns going on right here. Okay, and the employee is there. We can add entity by partition key, employee search by email, shift, and row key. So we can add this entity to it, and then we can also add entity employee stats, count information. So those more entities we're adding as a row key formation. And then we have overload partition 1, which splits into partition 2. So those are done. Transition can only be done by tables across multiple tables. It does not have guarantee. So we're doing some transaction being created. So it is done within the table. And then we have department employee 1 shift, and then we have this department and we have two of them, and so we can do interpartition design pattern where we have this is for department name by employee ID, so you can put all the information like this. Employee entity you done by department name. This is intra-employee connection going on. Add or delete, we're doing row key formation. And then large entity pattern is where we actually can put something in a blob like a photo. So you have a large entity being created, and you have add one. These are all the different ways you can create some partition. User 1 changes and user 2 created. You can SQL as non-SQL databases.